Hello and welcome. We are at this really cool coffee shop that we just found. It's a rooftop patio and it's called Fornal Cultura. If you're in the east end of the city, check it out. And so today, where we want to do a little bit more of coffee and contemplation, episode 2. And today we want to talk about where the future's headed right now and where spirituality and technology kind of blend and where they differ and split. And so something that's been kind of interesting to me recently, something that's been flowing through my head is, what does the future look like? What does it mean to be a human moving on, right? We have the advent of AI. Things are changing so rapidly. A lot of people are going to be losing their jobs. A lot of things are going to be taken over by AI. So what does it mean to be human? And something that an idea that I was playing around with is the idea that humans are going to have to switch from human doings to human beings. And the idea that humans have just existed in a perpetual state of survival. So we've always had to have jobs, we've always needed things, but we're sort of entering a transition into an age of abundance where we're going to have enough. And
Right.
AI is going to be doing a lot of things better than humans. But where does that leave humanity? And just the idea that perhaps instead of needing to constantly do, we need to learn how to be
Right.
without having to do.
And when I hear that, I think it's almost like funny way, like it sounds like not a de-evolution, but it's just kind of like going full circle back into like almost, I don't want to say caveman, but it's just like AI is going to be doing a lot of stuff, and it's just making us look at life and go, what do we do now?
What does
Right?
it mean to be human?
Yeah.
What does it mean? Because like having a purpose, even if it's not the thing that you're absolutely in love with, it still gives you something to do. So there's going to be sort of that existential question, that existential dread that's just kind of start to raise in the same way that somebody nearing the end of their life, perhaps,
Right.
the same existential dread.
Just, yeah, kind of like that. Once you've achieved everything and you got it, it's just like, what do you do next?
What
right?
next? Yeah.
So it's it's scary that we're heading down that line, but also like really kind of cool.
Yeah, I think
So-
there's so much opportunity right now. And I think it's important to have a good attitude about it, to be definitely involved with where things are headed. We don't want it to get dystopian.
No.
But I think on a personal level, I know David Data talks a lot about what happens when someone lacks purpose and what they're doing and how you can kind of, your purpose can be beyond your job, I
Right.
guess is what I'm trying to get at. Your purpose can be to be present to the moment, to operate fully in life from a place of presence, not needing an external career or whatever to make you feel good about yourself. And that humans can kind of find purpose by just being, by tapping into that inherent quality of humanness, beingness with no strings attached. And that we can kind of operate from this place. Whereas before, maybe you found your identity in the career. Now you find the identity within yourself. I know this sounds very esoteric. I'm trying to point at something here, but it's just going to shift the way that our relationship with life.
It's kind of just like finding your identity in this moment. And it's a little bit of that too is just kind of like a letting go of like the ego in a way. But the moment you kind of let go of that more, you realize how blissful and fruitful this moment really is. And that like how you're actually just connected to it. Which is interesting.
It's gonna allow us to really explore whatever our interests are.
Right.
If we're not beholden to like this kind of fight or flight society, we're gonna have to shift out of that fight or flight consciousness. And I think that's something that's gonna be a big challenge is we have like godlike technology, but our sort of spiritual awareness or our egoic society and self hasn't evolved necessarily at the same rate that technology is advancing.
Right. Yeah.
So there's always that risk that, you can see the leaders in the world, right? We're developing this incredible technology, but we're so run by like almost like ape-like ego. So a lot of what this channel is about, I think, is actually just bringing to light what's next for humanity. What does it mean to be an evolved human? What does it mean to be in a day and age where you don't necessarily need to work? And where does your purpose lie? And I think these are questions that are really going to come rushing in. A lot of people are going to lose their jobs, and there needs to be an antidote to that.
Yeah.
What do you think the first steps of that? Let's say that you're feeling
sure.
disheartened about your future, or maybe your job's going to be taken over by AI. How do you source your sense of self from a deeper place?
I'd say look within first and foremost. Just kind of like, yeah, honestly, that's a hard question to answer. Like, what?
I mean, I can give some advice. I think that be aware of what your passions are. In the short term, find a way to find a route, find a career paths, because a lot of things are going to be opening up. But on a personal level, a way to kind of keep up with the constant changes is to recognize that this is a disillusionment of the ego on a mass scale, and we're either going to allow it to take us deeper, or we're going to freak out and kind of explode. So I want you, if you're watching this video, just take the opportunity to realize that life is going to change on a dramatic level, and things are going to start to be stripped away from us, purpose, things like that. But anytime that things change, anytime that there's things being removed out of your life, your ego's kind of being torn apart, your sense of reality, it's an opportunity to source your sense of happiness, your sense of peace from something deeper, something that can't be touched. And that part of you that can't be touched is your very self. So doing things like starting a meditation practice, self-inquiry, just watching content like this, it's going to take you to a deeper space. And I think Eckhart Tolle talks about it in A New Earth, and that's a little esoteric and call it kind of weird, but just that there is sort of a spiritual evolution going on right now, whether we're or not, everything's being upevened, like things are kind of exploding right now. And to exist in this new world of abundance, we're going to have to resonate with abundance without having to live in that competitive sort of fight or flight nature that we've been living in for so long. And just to recognize that there's enough to go around and that you don't have to source your sense of identity and purpose from what you do, but from who you are.
Yeah. And to touch on that too, in a lot of like our other previous just conversations that we have, you mentioned a lot about authenticity is the biggest kind of value or asset you have in this world.
Yeah,
So,
I think authenticity is going to be king moving forward.
And everyone is authentic. So if you're looking in the lens of like competition or like this person's doing that, I can't follow that. It's just like, yes, you can, because you're authentic. You're not them, and you have this like you're a unique individual, and you have your own weird twists and kinks and quote unquote flaws that are beautiful and unique.
And that's what's
people can
beautiful
learn
about
from.
being human too.
Yeah.
That is something that's going to stick out in the future. I think all this advancement of the AI, it's actually going to highlight humanity. It's going to highlight human art, the imperfection of that. And it's really just the attitude that we take into the future right now, I think. Someone was talking about this the other day too, and I thought it was a great idea. It was just the idea that it's either the future-proof things are either going to be AI, so doubling down on AI, learning how to use it and implement it, invest in it, or it's also going to be the human personal brand. Personal brand can't be destroyed. Your human voice, your authentic voice, your imperfect voice can't be taken. So maybe starting a YouTube channel or a personal brand on whatever you love.
Yeah, that's really like the last stand you have. So, I mean, not to confuse it, it's not like completely letting go of like the ego and everything. It's just kind of like really crafting it now, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
I always think with like ego's a good thing as long as it's not running you fully. And I view it as like it's the spice, it's not the main meal. So if you can source your sense of identity, your sense of peace and happiness from that deeper space, that no strings attached beingness default setting inside of all of us, if you can source yourself and then have, a layer of the spice, which is the ego.
yeah, you almost
But
like
as a
funnel that
society-
energy into the ego in a funny way.
Exactly, yeah. It colors it and it gives you a deeper sense of freedom. But I think as a society and as a planet, we're going to have to kind of evolve beyond that. Again, ego, fight or flight, competitive nature,
Right.
or else we're going to destroy ourselves.
Yeah.
we're going to have to spiritually evolve. And then only then can we even accept the abundance that is around the corner if we use this technology well. And
Right.
it's very fleeting because it means that we can all just do our art. We can perhaps just engage with what we really love.
Yeah, I mean, it's curious to see where we're gonna go. So there might be, it's like the singularity where we all just like
Yeah, who
amalgamate
knows?
into technology,
Yeah.
and some people join and some people don't. But
Yeah, I think I was
Like-
talking about this with our other brother last night. The idea that like Mennonites,
yeah,
they got off the treadmill a long time ago. So the treadmill of life, technology going forward, more people are going to start to get off the treadmill. There's going to be more people returning to, or just stopping and being like, okay, I just want to be human. And I do think that it's
I feel like
important.
I'm gonna be one of those people.
Yeah, same. So am I. I mean, I want to advocate for humanity because I think it's in our imperfection, it's in our limitation that creates the jumping off point for spiritual growth. To
Yeah.
recognize the infinite part of yourself, you have to struggle through the limitation.
Right.
It's that bringing the infinite self into the limitation that's the power of being human. And if we just strip that away or become AI, then we're kind of cutting off our soul. So
Yeah,
these are
it
just some
kinda
random.
gets boring.
Yeah, exactly. Or if life's too perfect and too easy, it is boring. So I think we have to balance that. It's going to be a tricky few years navigating
Yeah.
in the future, but I think just on this channel, it's worth having these conversations and just sort of,
I will say,
Yeah.
like this crosses my mind a lot too. Where we're still like really new to the internet in a funny way. Like,
Yeah.
all of this stuff has really only been
Really.
around for 20 years, and like
Yeah.
we're just speeding through
Yeah.
technology to the point where like, whoa, we're
yeah.
almost replacing ourselves.
And I think being 90s kids too, it
Yeah.
gives us like we were born before the internet. I remember when the internet wasn't really a big thing.
Right.
So I think that that's an important thing to, when I'm like an 80-year-old man, that's going to be my thing. Like I was here
Right.
before the internet.
Exactly. Yeah.
But
I feel like that now.
yeah, there's aspects of being a 90s kids that we need to hold on to. And I think there is going to be a mass
You,
getting off the treadmill.
there
to a
might be
certain
an
extent.
exodus of it a bit. 'Cause
Yeah.
It's getting harder and harder to trust too, right? So
What's real or fake? Yeah. Yeah. Go outside, touch grass, and
yeah. I
ponder
know.
these
and
ideas.
It was making me think of that skit that we just did too.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
We'll link that in the comments below. We did a funny skit. Anyhow, this is just some food for thought. We're just playing around with ideas. And if you relate to this or you have any ideas of your own, comment below. And is there anything you want to leave us off with?
Yeah. I would say a piece of advice or recommendation would be to look around and find a solid practice that opens you up or helps you deal with everything that's going on. Be that journaling, be that meditation, even dancing, just something that connects you fully into this moment
Yeah.
and kind of to block out all of the like crazy things going on.
It is. Things are ramping up. Things are crazy. And exactly what you're saying. It's important to find some sort of a practice to ground yourself, to unplug.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, say that's a good note to end it on. And thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.
Until next time.